I'm Buddy Fry, and this is a big LGBTQ story for today. Let's queer up Florida, South Florida, and Florida. LGBTQ Florida cheers to DeSantis, Defense Secretary, as it gets him out of Florida. Could Florida Governor Ron DeSantis leave office for Donald Trump's Defense Secretary role? LGBTQ communities are watching closely. Trump's initial pick, Pete Hegseth, faces sexual misconduct allegations, pushing DeSantis into the spotlight. If confirmed, DeSantis would leave Florida 2 years before his term ends. This news comes amid strained ties between Trump and DeSantis following their 2024 Republican primary rivalry. For LGBTQ Floridians, DeSantis' potential exit feels like a relief. His tenure has been marked by anti-LGBTQ policies, including a transgender sports ban and the controversial Don't Say Gay or Trans law. However, DeSantis' leadership at the Pentagon raises alarms. Trump is expected to reinstate a transgender military ban, and DeSantis' anti-trans record fuels further concerns. If Trump pursues DeSantis as Secretary of Defense, he will continue to dominate Florida-based cabinet and leadership roles for the new administration. Look, we're talking about two people that we lose no matter what. Getting Ron DeSantis out of Florida might be the lesser of two evils because there's more roadblocks in his way being the Secretary of Defense.
That's right.
He doesn't have carte blanche like he does down here because of the strength that he has in the politics statewide. I don't know. It's not a good situation regardless. I'm more concerned about his reputation on an international level and what the damages that can be done as his role in Secretary of Defense. The transgender community is just screwed no matter what. Even though they represent 0.09% of the population, they seem to be, they get the blame for everything, including the weather. And my only concern is who's gonna replace DeSantis in Florida.
Right. I don't know Florida policy that well. Typically, in most states, it's usually a lieutenant governor or whoever is the second in command will transcend to the governorship. But to your point, Buddy, I think irrespective of where, it's a no-win situation. We're in a no-win. We're screwed for the next 4 years, quite frankly, in terms of our community. No matter what happens, whether he stays, whether he goes there. If he stays in Florida, he will continue his vicious attacks on our community. As we know, thank God, we do have these great advocacy organizations that have been fighting back, that we've been winning some of these legislative battles over, political battles over DeSantis. But either way, we are screwed. To your point, I am afraid about just his whole cabinet, Trump's whole cabinet, right? Once again, he's picking his cronies. He's picking, people who are loyal to him. And it does not look good on the international stage. And talk about Secretary of Defense. That's such a critical role, particularly given what's happening around the world. Look at France is on fire, right? We have Ukraine still. We have, the whole issue with, the Gaza. There's just so many issues around the world. And we need someone who is, who has the experience, who has the knowledge, who is astute, we're screwed either way. Either way,
it's a no-win situation. It's just an issue of who does the least amount of damage. Now, the one good thing that we have going in our benefit is that we do have 215 Democrats in position that can, and I think it's the House, that we can at least slow things down and negotiate a lesser debacle.
That's right.
We can somehow control the pain.
No, to your point, definitely the House is very, very tight. It's the tightest it's probably ever been. And that comes to our benefit. There are some fairly, I would say, kind of liberal Republicans in the House that will side with the Democrats.
My point.
And
we
so
at least have that to slow down the pain or at least mitigate.
And to your point, the House has they control the purse, right? They control the pocketbook, right? They control the funding of our government. And so to your point, they have the opportunity to slow things down. And, even the Senate, despite, us taking a big loss there and losing, there's still the filibuster, right? Rule, exactly. As long as that exists.
And there's still 3 positions that are up in the air that are still in the final stages of being determined on a legal basis.
That's right.
Now, the only thing that I can make a plea to the community is I think we need to do an assessment, the state of the gay community right now, like doing a state of address, talking about our strengths and weaknesses over the next, decide that over the next year and make plans based on that.
Yeah.
But that takes organization, that takes leadership. So,
and it also takes some of the great organizations that are out there working together. So, we have SAVE, we have Equality Florida, but on a national level, we have the Victory Fund, we have the National Task Force. It takes these organizations coalescing and really coming together to think about what's the gay agenda. Let's do an assessment.
Well, first of all, we don't use the gay agenda.
Well, the LGBTQ plus,
But what I'm saying is, we need to pull together the leadership that we have.
That's right.
We need to backfill our leadership with younger people like yourself. I'm one of the old fogies. So we need to backfill, but we also need to bring those people to the table and do an assessment saying, how do we all fit together? Because right now we're sort of organized. We sort of have a common voice, but we're still flailing around because it's still too new and it's still too like, oh my God, we didn't get what we wanted. Now what do we do?
Right.
So we've got to come together, and that's why I keep saying we need a state of the union of the gay community.
Sure.
To come
the
together.
LGBTQ plus community.
LGBTQ plus.
That's right.
IQ and any other alphabet.
That's right. No, I think you're right, and we have the organizations out there.
We have
it's
them.
Just a matter of coming together.
And we have to find that sweet spot on the table where everybody wins comfortably. We don't always win everything.
That's right.
But we have to find that sweet spot that we all walk away going, okay, I feel good about this.
And I think that this doing that assessment, coming together, creating an agenda for everyone in our community under
that plan.
That plan. And then also, really preparing us for
exactly
upcoming elections, right? Like the Victory Institute has been great about trying to train the next generation, but how are they connected with HRC? How are they connected? Let's come all together.
We need to come together. Yes, we all have a sliver of the pie as all these organizations come together, and there's only limited to so many talent or so much money or so many. But if we work together and find out how your organization does A, B, and C, I do D, F, and G. How How can we come together and fill those voids?
Yep. I agree.
And I think that's where we stand. And I think the current, between DeSantis leaving and the state of Florida being in such chaos with the Republican politics, and then Donald Trump and his, God knows what you want to call it, with his cabinet, his support.
Sure. I think we have an opportunity here.
We do.
That's exactly what you're saying. This is the opportunity that we have. Like, yes, 2024, the elections was tough for us. We lost really badly around the country, but this is an opportunity, right? Let's learn from this and let's grow.
And it also allows us to go beyond the LGBTQIA community, because we need to pull in the Black community. We need to pull in the Hispanic community. We need to pull in our allies like we've never done before.
That's right.
This is no different than when we had the AIDS crisis. We were successful in pulling people to the table, but we've kind of fallen apart with that. Now it's the Black community, and it's about, we need to pull everybody back. We have a round table here. How many freaking chairs can I get around here? Let's get them filled.
That's right. I love it. That's great. Thank you, buddy. That is a big LGBTQ story for today. There's no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight.